Alright everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So we're going to get caught up on some more Shonen Jump stuff today. I'm going to try to get back to read-throughs next weekend. I was otherwise preoccupied with the Lies of P DLC that just shadow dropped this weekend, along with some other personal stuff, so I won't have time to get around to it this week. But hopefully next weekend I'll be back to it again. But in the meantime, I've got some good Shonen Jump stuff coming your way this weekend. So if you haven't already, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. But without further ado, let us dive into it. Spy Family Mission 117 by Tetsuya Endo, with translation by Casey Lowe and lettering by Arina Mappa. Oh no, sorry, lettering is changed now. So it's translation by Casey Lowe and lettering by JB. So you have a hey, and you have Yor going, Hemlock, please stop this at once. I promise I won't get in your way. And he's your brah, as the moose just comes like barreling by her. And she's like, eep! As she also like narrowly dodges a sword slash from Hemlock on the other side. And she's like, he's swinging his sword for real. He goes, your existence is in my way. And Whip, and you see Yor just like tying her hair up, but she's like, so my hair doesn't get cut again. And he goes, because of your pernicious influence, now even Gimpy is talking about getting a boyfriend. You are the toxic insect disrupting the natural order of the garden. Your head full of nonsense like welcome home kisses. And Yor's blushing. He's like, no, that's not nonsense. I just want to portray my cover identity accurately is all. It's the cover identities, true selves, none of that belongs in the garden. We are the shopkeeper's pruners. We're the blades of our motherland. Our role is merely to be blood-stained tools. Oh, Christ, I just thought of the perfect title for this video. We have no need of love or happiness. And he goes, you should be ashamed to be consorting with the rabble of the city. And as Yor just like grabs over her little blade, she's like, the elk's not the problem. You're the one who needs to calm down. And as she kind of just stabs at him, he blocks it with his cane sword. He's like, but I am calm. Aren't you the one who's being erratic? And Yor's like, I'll never be able to stop him if I'm pulling my punches. And you see with a swish as he launches the cane sword into the air and then grabs it by the crook. Hold on. Yeah, grabs it by the crook so he can start like swinging it around, like increasing the range of the blade. And you see a splurt as he manages to cut Yor on the neck. And he goes, you've lost your thorns and with them any right to the name of Thorn Princess. God, fucking... Did we just get the goddamn Fiona of Garden? Like, is that where we're going? He's like, I thought you and I were the same. Those empty eyes, that aura that wordlessly repels others. The Thorn Princess, the sharpest of all the pruning blades. I suppose I even admired you. Having a younger brother didn't change any of those things. However, after you joined that family, I could no longer bear to look at you. Call it a cover if you like, but it was patently obvious that it was dulling your edge. Am I disappointed? No, I'm angry. You abandoned your pruner's pride to play house with peasants. You achieved the pinnacle and then turned and made a mockery of it. It's like the person you've become could never beat me now. And he's here just kind of like rapidly trying to deflect the flurry of his blows. It's like while you were filing papers at City Hall, while you were making merry with first ladies and making out with your husband, I was eschewing all human contact and stoically cultivating my inner and outer... Fucking Christ. Got another video title for this idea. Like, there's been no making merry or making out. He's like, it is isolation you must love. For only those beloved by isolation can become the sharpest blades. It's like, this is what the man believed. These were the ideals that kept him sane. Friends and women were something I abandoned long ago. And as a result, I am now the strongest. It's like the man was alone. It's like, how long has it been since I last cavorted with the masses? But it's not like he had many friends to begin with. I may have willingly chosen the path of carnage, but those were still hard times. Not going out with my coworkers, declining drinks from the shopkeeper, eating alone, visiting amusement parks alone, and then in the end, cutting all ties to my barber shop, leaving even my hair to grow unchecked. I do trim the bangs myself. And George is like, It's like, ha ha ha, what do you say to that? Am I skimping in my devotion to isolation? Are you even capable of reaching such heights of solitude? And the trio moves just looking at them and goes like, I'm getting water, as it plods off. It's like, do you dare ignore your landlord's greetings? It's like, no, I would never do that. It's like, then you are weak. You have an irk as he sends a shuriken blade like flying at her. It slices her. And she dodges out of the way to get behind a tree. and he just carves like a little chunk out of it. It's like, where are you going? Back home to cry in your husband's arms? Inappropriate. How utterly inappropriate. He's like, I don't cry in his arms. He's like, I need to do something about that sword. It gives him such a long reach, but it's too slim and flexible and incredibly fast to capture, especially when I don't have a weapon to trap it. He's like, what are you waiting for? Come at me. Has domesticity made you so soft you've forgotten how to fight? Do you have a ha? It's like, shit, how disappointing. You've grown so pathetic that even killing you would prove nothing about my isolation powers. So be it then. Instead, I'll prune your brother and your family to cut you free from their shackles. So I'll go propose my plan to the shopkeeper. You wait here. I'll return with their heads shortly as he kind of sheathes his sword. And you see a whoosh as more like just lunges at him and tries to stab him. And you see her get like all furious as she goes, I will not let you do that. Goes, there she is. Now I can finally prove my superiority by hacking the real Thorn Princess to pieces. And you see Shoop, but she kind of like rage filled and starts like attacking him head on. It's like, don't give him a chance to widen the space between us. It's like one more step, and she like picks up this giant fucking boulder from the ground, kicks it up, stabs her. Oh no, sorry, it's Hemlock is the one that kicks up the boulder at her face. Is that Hemlock or is that Yor? No, that's Yor doing it. I was just confused by what she's doing. Yeah, so Yor kicks it up into her face, stabs it with her needles, and like breaks it apart. It's like, now who's destroying the environment of the site? I'm telling the shopkeeper. It's like, the desperate times call for desperate measures. I'm sorry, shopkeeper. Jeff, clever, but she like chops up a bunch of the things into smaller pieces. And with a thwoop, she just kicks a rock right in the middle of his head. With a shoop and a shing. And you see as a blaze kind of like flying towards her, she just turns her mind like all feral, just like grabs it between her teeth and spits it back at him. He's like, you lose! Your little thorns can't reach me now! And you see as he's like fucking stabbing at her with a thing, she uses the handle of her, the little ring in the handle of her weapon to grab his blade and kind of like, she just like runs it along it so she can get closer to him. He's like, with the pommel? And she snaps it and then just stabs him right in the middle with it. Or at least pretends to. And goes, I win. Please never target my family again. He's like, I lost? To the Makeout Merrymaker? Christ, man. It's like, I don't do that. And he sees him just like his little image of like, oh, look, I'm getting so strong in the isolation. It's like, oh, da, 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 da. You see all that just kind of shattering around him. Sorry, I'm just trying to flip it around to find the proper page. So you see his little dreams like just shattering around him. He's like, all that time alone, and for what? And Jeff, oh, it's Director McMahon's bird. Sounds like he's found the enemy base. Let's go, Hemlock. It's like, does this mean there's nothing wrong with merrymaking and making out? It's like, Mr. Hemlock! It's like, we need to go, come on! It's like, it's not fair. The merry makeout path can be stronger. It can't be. And you see as McMahon's bird's like picked up his cane sword, he's like pecking at his face. Man, alright, I guess quick thoughts on this chapter. Like, I don't know, man. Because on the one hand, you have Hemlock kind of being set up to be the foil to Fiona, where it's kind of like, oh, you know, there was like another person in like the organization that admired like, you know, like the ruthlessness and efficiency of the main character, and you know, kind of sees like how domesticity kind of like dulled and like softened their edges a little bit and kind of like gave their humanity back to them, things like that. But it feels like Endo was like, I don't know if it was too cowardly or just didn't think it through fully or didn't realize that they're doing like a foil when they did it with Hemlock, because you have the whole setup with him being like, oh, you know, it's like I admired you so much, like even having a younger brother didn't change it. It's like, but once you like you found a family, like, oh, that all changed, and like, oh, it's like you could never beat me now. And it's kind of setting up the whole tropey thing of like, oh, you know, this person thought that they're becoming stronger by being alone, and then like you got the whole thing like, no, blah blah blah, family makes you stronger, having someone to care about makes you stronger, etc., etc. It's not a trope that I dislike, but I do think it's a lot of time it's very overused and is very shallowly handled thematically. And I don't think Spy Family is an exception to how it handles it, because again, like I've been saying for the long time, like Yor kind of needs an arc where she contends with the role that she's playing in her organization and how that makes her feel comparatively, to her, self, domestic bliss, and all that kind of stuff. And instead of having Hemlock kind of realistically challenging that in any way, it kind of just comes off like it's kind of the thing of of course, you shouldn't be taking this guy seriously. He is an absolute joke. The way he's talking about it's that literally that meme of while you were out partying, I studied the blade kind of shit. Like exactly that same kind of energy emanating from him. But even when he does the thing of I'll go prune your brother and free you from the shackles, it really didn't feel the intensity. It didn't feel like a legitimate threat from him. Neither did Yor's reaction. Even though she looked kind of furious and I won't let you lay a hand on them, it didn't feel like there was really any powerful kind of emotion behind that. And so I feel like we really need a little bit more heft to that, kind of have any of this feel like it had any kind of emotional weight. Because right now it's kind of oh no, you are trying to prove I still have my skills, my blade hasn't been dulled. But Endo kind of just speed ran that whole process throughout this chapter. And fucking the humor in this with stupid Hemlock being ooh, you're the Makeout queen, I bet you want to go home to Makeout. It's Makeout parties. It's that gimmick of a child. It's if I repeat a joke, even if it's not funny, if I repeat it multiple times, it'll eventually, people will find it funny. It's the same kind of thing here where he's making out. It's alright, Endo, I get it. You have a joke. You think it's hilarious, but repeating it over and over and over and over again is not going to make it funnier. It's not going to make Hemlock more likable than he is. So I don't know. It feels like Endo really didn't know what to do with Hemlock, whether they wanted to be threatening, pathetic, what, and they kind of just because they tried to make him a little bit of everything, you really didn't get much of a personality or anything. He's not really a particularly interesting character, so it's kind of just alright, going through this chapter, I'm alright, sure, stuff is happening, but I don't know, man. It didn't give me any deeper insight into Garden. It didn't give me any deeper insight into Yor. It's just kind of a chapter that's there. Hopefully kind of picks up from here, but I don't know, man. This was just extremely dull. So with all that said, like I said at the beginning, whole Shonen Jump stuff will be out today, so look forward to that. Hopefully read-throughs will be back next weekend. Until next time, this is Ash. Talk to you all later.